English with Deck. Okay. How's it going? What has everyone been up to? You know, I like to start each episode just with a bit of a friendly greeting. Excuse me, a friendly greeting. It doesn't take much just to acknowledge someone. And that little acknowledgement goes a long way. I like it when people acknowledge me. It's a nice feeling. Especially if you're having a day where you're a bit down, and then you get that acknowledgement, and boom, suddenly you feel right as rain. It's a nice feeling, but not just because of that. It's common decency. It's polite. And I think a little acknowledgement goes such a long way. And case in point, yesterday I took my eldest daughter to this pretty cool little event. And it was hosted by the local neighborhood people, the neighborhood committee, if you like. And just in case you're not aware, I probably should say, in Japan, especially in the more rural areas, you sort of have these neighborhood communities, much like many other parts of the world. However, I had never really experienced this until I came here. And these neighborhood communities, on paper, they're a bit tedious, annoying. It's a bit of a pain. You don't have to. Certain people have to sort of attend events. So should I say meetings? They have to attend meetings and just discuss upcoming events and that kind of stuff. But actually, once you look past all that, these neighborhood communities, well, they keep everything in place. If things need replacing, if like park equipment or maybe a fence is blown down, it gets arranged to be fixed really quickly. Especially if it's on a public area, people will push for it to be repaired, or if it's not quite a government level job, then money which the community has contributed can help fund towards the repair of something. And even further on, if there is a community event, the food, the drinks, etc., is there because it has been funded by the community. And of course, the maintenance on various TV and phone lines, etc. Anyway, and yesterday's was slightly different in the sense of it being a kids' community event. So basically, all the kids in my neighborhood, this is all new to me. So if I've got any of the details slightly wrong and someone who is more wise to this matter than me, knows more than me, please correct me. However, as far as I understood it, the kids who are in elementary school in my neighborhood, so from years 1 or grades, depending on where you're from in the world, years 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, they get together in the local community center like thing, and there are some parents there, of course, and it was really nice because the kids all got together. The kids sort of introduced themselves. Now, most of these kids, in fact, I think about 80% or 90% actually knew each other anyway, because they grew up together. And, they introduce themselves and then they hang out in their little groups. And then every 10 minutes or so, a game will be organised by some parents who are in charge. And then there's some prizes, and it was only 2 hours. But in that time, my daughter got to sort of introduce herself, and most of the kids knew her, but she gets to speak in front of them. She gets to introduce herself and just break down any barriers which might be there, because it's a new school, new environment, new atmosphere. And that is so amazing to see, for use of a better word. And I noticed there were some new kids, as in new to the neighborhood. I think they are from a different part of Japan. I've not really seen them before. Anyway, it was good for their kids as well, I feel. And my daughter's got a few little goodie bags because they were the first years, and then all the kids, including the first years, got an extra goodie bag or two each. And that community spirit, I never really saw that growing up in the same way. And I've seen it a lot, and I've talked about it before on this podcast. But it's special. And don't get me wrong, there are aspects of it which are a bit annoying or tedious. But I think at the end of the day, it's so much better than the alternative. Simply because it really does hold everyone together. And it really goes to show, just a little bit of care and and a bit of thought. In this case, you've broken down barriers, you've eased any tension the kids were having. But for community events in general, maybe people are lonely and they get to go out for the day, have a chat, have a drink, have some food. Or maybe people just get to live in a nicer neighborhood. And yeah, it's aside from all the bureaucratic, great word there, bureaucratic, bureaucracy is like the government style paperwork is bureaucracy. When there's loads of rules which are written down and rules which have to be enforced. Like, for example, if you go to the town hall and they give you loads of papers to fill out, it is a bureaucratic form. Great word there. I love that word. I don't love bureaucracy, but the word is quite a fun word to say. The bureaucracy can be very tedious. In fact, it really is tedious. Tedious, tedious, tedious. I think today's word is definitely tedious. Anyway, back to the story at hand. Yes, the community events are absolutely a winner in my book. And I'm really curious, do you guys have any of these events in your neighborhoods? Do you wish you did have them? Please, let people know in the comments. And whoosh, right up to the point I wanted to be at. Now, I keep saying, let me know in the comments. Let everyone know in the comments. And, I actually realized something, I did a quick search and I didn't really come across too much comment-wise. Now, I'm not judging anyone, but I just want to explain something. If you are commenting on the episodes, please do so clearly, and if you don't make sure it is published as well. And if you're unable to comment for whatever reason on whatever platform you are using, please do let me know either through email on my website, through Preply on my teaching platform, or through YouTube, and those three services, I know 100% you can contact me. So if for whatever reason you are not able to leave a comment or a review, for whatever reason, on whichever platform you are using, let me know and I can fix that. Okay, guys. Well, look, as always, I hope you're having a fantastic morning, a wonderful evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Bye for now. See ya.